World Press Freedom Day was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in December 1993, following the recommendation of UNESCO's General Conference. This year's celebration marks the 30th anniversary of the World Press Freedom Day. In his address in commemoration of the day, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres said that the freedom of the press is the bedrock on which democratic principles and justice thrive across the globe. The UN chief, who spoke on the theme Shaping a Future of Rights, Freedom of Expression as the driver for all other human rights, maintained that there has been substantial progress towards achieving a free press and freedom of expression around the world, as the proliferation of independent media in many countries and the rise in digital technologies have enabled the free flow of information. He, however, maintained that media freedom, the safety of journalists, and freedom of expression are increasingly under attack.
All our freedom depends on press freedom. Freedom of the press is the foundation of democracy and justice. It gives all of us the facts we need to shape opinions and speak truth to power. And as this year's theme reminds us, press freedom represents the very lifeblood of human rights. But in every corner of the world, freedom of the press is under attack. Truth is threatened by disinformation and hate speech seeking to blur the lines between fact and fiction, between science and conspiracy. The increased concentration of the media industry into the hands of a few, the financial collapse of scores of independent news organizations, and an increase of national laws and regulations that stifle journalists are further expanding censorship and threatening freedom of expression.
Speaking in the same vein, Osun State Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Mr. Wasiu Ajadoshu, said one of the major challenges faced by media practitioners in Nigeria is the lack of proper enumeration. He noted that journalists in Nigeria have maintained a remarkable level of hard work and resilience, which have continued to play important roles in promoting transparency, accountability, and good governance. In her contribution, a seasoned journalist and director News and Current Affairs Department, OSBC Radio, Mrs. Abimbola Babatunde, stated that the media must be given free access to operate, as freedom of the press would amount to freedom for everyone.
Freedom of expression, as we have it in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Section 39, gives room for any person to express himself or herself freely without any hindrance. So having freedom of expression will translate to so many things. It will entail so many rights. If you can say what you want to say at any time and anyhow you want to say it without minding anything.
In his submission, a one-time journalist, Chief Wale Oyeniyi, maintained that no society can progress without the media, as journalists have frequently exposed corruption, beamed searchlight on human rights violations, and reported public interest events, issues, and trends.
The media, in fact, is the watchdog of the society. If not for media, we will have been getting dictatorial government, authoritarian government. They are the ones now informing the public, are cautioning the authoritarian leaders, the wicked leaders. They are the ones. So society now cannot do without press. They've done wonderfully well. They made us to aware what is going on, the behavior of our leaders, anything that came out, we are able to know about it. So it's inevitable in society.
He, however, bemoaned the activities of those whom he described as social media journalists who use the platform to spread misinformation to the public.
Every media organization now has its own editorial policy. Like if it's a print media, if it's electronic media, they have their editorial policy. But social media has no policy. They just print and they just cook something, put it in the social media, and they say something. So we cannot call them journalists. We can't call them journalism. What they are doing is not journalism at all. In fact, it's even far from being called jungle journalism.
The respondents called on all stakeholders to recognize the essential role that free and independent media play in fostering a well-organized society and a sustainable democracy, just as they implored the government to develop an up-to-date international standard public policy for the information sector, reform media legislations and broadcasting regulations in consonance with the direction of the media policy. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.